What's up, everybody? Sean here with another live Live to Roll. Today's going to be an open discussion. So if you guys have questions, anything you want to add to the discussion, drop it into the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I think we might have one more joining us. Paul may be joining us in a little bit here, but if not, the three of us are going to talk about some of the stuff that we've dealt with and some of the stuff like I know I am actively working on right now. But yeah, so let's get into some intros. I am Sean Fluke. I'm a C5, C6 quadriplegic from a snowboarding accident 22 years ago now. Mike, you want to go ahead and then we can let Chad, we'll just kind of
Sure. I'm
get.
Mike Lee. I broke my neck in 92, a good 30 plus years ago. I think it's 33 years, something like that. Over 30 years. I broke C5, 6, and 7. My injuries at C7.
Awesome, man. Yeah, thanks for joining again. And Mike's
Glad
been
to.
on a couple times recently and going to be hopefully doing some gaming here for us soon. So live to roll family here. And then Chad, you want to introduce yourself, man?
Hello, yes, my name's Chad Dismukes. I'm a C56 quadriplegic. Broke my neck in a diving accident 30 years ago. It'll be 30 years next month. I've been hovering around that 30-year mark for a while now. But I run the chairlife.com. We sell different mobility type products, and yeah, great to be here. Nice to meet you, Mike. First
Nice to
time
meet
met
you too,
Mike.
brother.
So yeah,
Yeah,
good to
yes.
be.
So thanks for joining us, guys, both of you guys. So today we're going to be talking about mental health. This month is actually Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So that's why, it is a panel of men on here this week. And we are going to actually try to do a women's mental health show in a couple of months here, I think, when it is women's. But obviously, mental health affects anybody and everybody. So it's not a men specific thing. It's just kind of highlighting the fact that it is for the month here. So yeah, any questions from the women in the chat and anything as well? We'd love to hear from you. Any comments, anything you guys can add to the discussion as well. Uh, but yeah, it is just to highlight. It is Mental Health Awareness Month or Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I have been for some years now working on my mental health. I actually saw well, besides when I first got injured, I saw a therapist because that was kind of part of my rehab at Northridge. They had, a licensed therapist that I got to talk to while I was inpatient. And then for maybe 6 months after my injury, I had once a month visits, I think it was. Um, but the first time I went out, sought out therapy on my own was actually just the end of 2024. I found a therapist that accepted, my Medicare stuff insurance. Um, and I went for a while, and at first I thought it was helping, but then it ended up not really helping. It just wasn't the right fit. The therapist, it just kind of more ended up just it just wasn't super helpful and productive in the end. But I'm right now actively looking again to try to find like an actual like psychologist, somebody that might be a little bit more able to like really help me figure out some of the stuff that I've been dealing with for like a long time. Just I have anxiety. I deal with depression, and I've always been like a people pleaser my whole life. I've always been very like a yes man. Like I hate saying no to anybody, anything. I always, yes, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, like even sometimes things that I didn't really want to do, I didn't, like. So those are some of the issues that I deal with, and and am trying to be very open about and share and talk about. So um, those are some of my mental health struggles and some of the things I'm trying to address and have been addressing. Do you guys have anything like that that you guys deal with or have dealt with in the past? Um, Mike, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've definitely, my injury being in 92, they had like a kind of self, and being a child too, I was 16 when I had my accident. So I saw some in-house people when I was first injured, and they put me on like Prozac, but that lasted only a couple weeks. I didn't like how it made me feel and whatnot. I mean, and I don't know if, and this is still while I'm there for the first 7 months. I was there for 7 months to do my initial rehab session. So, there we were there a lot longer. So we were able to address these things as well compared to people now that are being pushed in and out. So um, I was seeing a doctor there, but it didn't go good for me then. And I stayed focused on the OTPT aspect of the therapy while I was there. I started addressing more of the mental health thing probably after I was out of the hospital with um, talking with a couple people. There's some good assets I found at church that were available to me that I didn't know were there. That was one thing that I pursued. And then um, being with Andrea, I've gone to a therapist for just a relationship tied to my issues with being in a chair and feeling like I'm a burden and whatnot, because she's my caregiver as well. So there's a lot of different aspects that I've dealt with mentally that I think a lot of people deal with as well. It's just not the injury. There's a lot of things that you do after as well. But yeah, I've had a couple different experiences, and I'd be happy to elaborate on any of them. There are questions from people as well too in the chat.
That is actually, and that's one thing that is a major struggle with, like the feeling like a burden. I know for a lot of us in chairs with disabilities. Um, but yeah, Chad, and thanks for sharing that, Mike. Chad, you want to share a little bit of your journey if you have some of the stuff that you've either dealt
Yeah.
with or dealing with?
I just drank some water. You guys ever drink that water and it hits you right in the back of the throat and you can't breathe?
Yeah, yeah.
And
If you
you're
need
like,
a second, don't worry.
and you're just like, basically that's waterboarding. That's once I realized that, I kind of calmed down with it all and realized I'm not gonna die. It's just basically waterboarding. Is what it is. It is. It really is.
No, I
Try to
know.
give it a minute. It'll fade and you'll get some air in and be able to cough it out. I mean, shit, fuck. But you're doing that little dance there for a little bit. But anyways, yeah. Um, yes, I've been. When I initially broke my neck back in '96, I was in the hospital for 3 months. Hell, they never did any type of mental health. It was just physical rehab throughout the month. Thinking back on it, kind of makes me scratch my head in a lot of ways. It's like, wow. Um, but then once I did get out, I ran into this. It wasn't. I didn't pursue it. It just happened upon me. I ran into a family friend that happened to be a counselor, and we just became friends. I had known him prior to my injury, and we and he just worked. He just worked with me basically as a friend, and just throughout my journey in the chair, I would be able to call him and just talk with him, and it was nothing formal, um, but I feel like I'm mentally pretty balanced today because of my friendship with him, and I'm able to call him. He's older. He's um, 78 now, but just an older mentor in so many ways. He's not in a chair or anything, but yeah, I mean, it fluctuates. I go in and out of just, I wouldn't say depression, but just loneliness, really, in a lot of ways, and
Yeah.
identity. I think is a big thing. Hell, you look, especially as I've aged. I'm identity wise, it's like fuck. I'm getting older. I'm in this chair. You look at the looking glass self of being in this, being here as a grown, aging man, and it's like fuck. I mean that takes on its little dance in my head at times. Well, what I find works for me is just being patient with it and sitting with these feelings. And I've learned this from from my time with my friend Ted. Just giving space to these emotions that we have, and and trying to just be patient with it, and sit with it. I'm currently going through a divorce. I have two 18-year-old kids and raised them. And I've been this last couple of months just in a um, real lonely place, just with them. They're graduating here next week, and it just seems like it's a new chapter in my life. And there's an end to that, and a new beginning, hopefully, past that. And so I've been working with that, and I go on a lot of dog walks. Hell, this weekend I I just go in the woods. I go walk my dog, and we go for miles and miles just with we have great trails over here in San Antonio, and I live on the trails, as much as I can get out and go, and I just walk. And I sometimes I'll have my music, sometimes I won't, and just try to find balance out there, whether it's just you know weeping as I go along in the trails with my music or whatever it may be, but just soul searching in a lot of ways to find balance and where I may be at that moment. And I've been doing a lot of that. The weekend I was on the trails most of the weekend, but yeah, so that's where I'm currently at. It's always been about, I'm just trying to find balance. It's ongoing. I don't know that, I don't know that we, I don't know if there's ever any stability in it. I mean, there is stability in it, but I think it's fluctuating always up and down, or at least it is with me. And I think self-aware. I was always told if you're self-aware, you're halfway there, and being self-aware with it. And we're taught pretty much in our, what are we taught to do? To just move on, right? Push our feelings down and move on,
Yeah,
forget. But it's not. I don't think that's a healthy way. I mean, I think we have these primary emotions that need space within us, and they need a voice, and they need care. And I think for me, when I have these feelings, I try to sit with them, give them space, give them care, and be patient with it, with wherever I'm at. And I seem to have found some pretty positive results just in that, because the way I look at it, I mean, hell, these emotions that we get and these feelings that we get, they're ours. We're experiencing them for who we are, and in our in where we are, and own them. And because we're better for them. I think if we're able to just bring them and allow them to be part of us. And yeah. So that's a little bit of where I'm at and where I've been, and yeah. So I think it's ever evolving. Is what I think. Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. Thanks for sharing, Chad. Too. I know that's it. Um, yeah, that is really important. Like to find something like you found writing right now for you, kind of clear your head, get that mental space, which is great. That's what I feel like you really got to find something. And I want to real quick shout out a couple people in the chat real quick. One, David Washington, he mentioned having his own show,
Yes.
and maybe
Yes.
we'll figure some sort of meditation one out. But I wanted to let David know, and I'm actually meant to text him. But I've actually been doing the breathing exercise and like there's like the Tai Chi, which basically I just started with a 5 minute routine. I've now started like doing 7.5 minutes. So I've like increased it like, extra 30 seconds on each of the ones basically. Just slowly kind of getting there. But it actually has really been helping. And the other thing that I'm doing with it,
What improvements have you seen?
well, my mental just I feel a little bit more mentally clear, but part of it isn't just the
Cool.
meditation. I'm actually doing for me, what has been working is I do like a thought dump, like journal entry before I do the meditation. So before I do the meditation, I kind of get a lot of my thoughts out. I sit there and I open my journal and I'll just sit there and do the voice thing and just like kind of ramble off like everything that's been on my mind for the day, like stuff that's been bothering me, something that I want to do, I'm thinking about. And so it's kind of been like I've been doing that thought dump, which is like clearing my head, and then I'll sit, do the breathing. So like at that point, I'm already sort of in a better mental space because I've already kind of dumped a lot of the thoughts that are pressing, that are bothering me, that are on my mind at the moment. And that's
Right.
really been working. I got like my little journal app in my phone keeps a streak. I think I got like 12 days now of a streak. So I've been like 12 straight days of like doing my little journal entry, thought dump, and then like going into my meditation.
Is
You
that an app you're using?
it's honestly just the journal. It's built into the iPhone. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
the iPhone journal one. So I've just been using that. It's on the little thing. It has a little widget that's just like right on my main home screen. And that's the one
Right.
I've just been using because for me it's easy. I click the little widget, and I also kind of like. There's a little bit of a mental thing for me where I'm starting to see that streak, and I'm like, yeah, 12 days. I got to 10 days, and I was like, yeah, double
Right, right.
like, like it's keeping me a little bit accountable. Like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm doing because the thought dump goes with the meditation, so it's an all-in-one. Like, it's really trying to clear my mind a little bit. Um,
I
and so it has
gotcha.
been helping. I think it's been helping. I still have a lot of thoughts, a lot of things I need to work out and work out, work on. Um, but but it's I feel like it's been having a positive effect on my like mentality and just kind of my overall just like mental clarity and like kind of feeling like positivity, like like just feeling a little more clear and a little better. So
I gotcha. Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to find out more because I'm definitely more old school. I mean, I was more, like uh raised in a definitely a stricter type of dad was from Louisiana, mom was from Texas type of thing, be a man and not show your feelings or talk
yeah,
about them or whatnot. So, like even recently, as the previous time I was on, everyone knows, or the people that saw me before know I was down for gosh, last couple of years dealing with like a bladder issue with some bleeding and whatnot, and it definitely kept me homebound and definitely kept me in kind of a darker place and whatnot. But my outlet, and I think it was more maybe escaping from my thoughts or whatnot, but I would get into gaming and play, and it had a definite mental bonus as far as how it made me, feel in my situation. I was stuck, and I would definitely know and acknowledge those feelings. I knew I had them and whatnot, but when you're stuck in the bed and you can't go do anything, which I definitely recommend getting out and about. I had that struggle recently, so I know there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of different aspects of the mental battles we do have, all of us, and our different struggles and the different times in our struggles. It's not a one size fits all, by any means, but I found some solace in gaming and whatnot when I was stuck, and having that network of people and friends that I could at least chat that way. It doesn't have to always be a professional, like the gentleman was saying. It makes sense that you have people that are just maybe not even in the same situation, but having that ability to communicate is something we are definitely striving as a society and losing. And as men too, we're told, to toughen up, pull
Yeah.
yourself up by your bootstraps, and do all this stuff when, just talking with your buddies, and it's society too. It's different. We're all talking through our phones and looking down and not even having eye communication. Our younger generation, that's a whole different show, as far as communication skills and social skills now that people are having. But having those outlets in any way, shape, or form where you're able to find them of communicating and talking with people definitely helps with mental health that I've experienced.
yeah, no, I think the community aspect can help a lot. Having somebody um, that you can talk to, vent out some thoughts or things that you're struggling with. Because yeah, we can't. Not easy to see a professional all the time, and even sometimes that cannot be the best for in certain situations and things. So
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Being able to talk to these other guys that are in chairs, it's just that relational competence that we get, or that I get from that, is huge. I mean, not necessarily getting any feedback from them, but just being able to bounce it like, hey, and being able to be understood and seen, like, oh yeah, I get it. Shit, I get it. Being stuck in the, whether it be being stuck in the bed or living by a schedule, and it's just, or trying to figure out what to make to eat for the day and how to, balance that. It's definitely a challenge at times. Yeah, it's yeah, but it's great being able to have this community to be able to share our feelings with. I find a lot of benefit from that. That's where I was out this weekend. I love to go drive too. I mean, I gotta get out and move.
Love driving too.
Yeah, I just drove. I went out to my buddy's house, lives about an hour from here, and just to drive out there and listen to radio on the way out there, and and he's a quad also, and just sit with him out there, drink some beers, and just be alive with another one. It's good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what the drive can, I know, can clear your head a lot, but or just being out, just like you said on your ride, anything like that, that really you can give yourself that mental space to think and do. And then also the talking, like you said, you're going and visiting with somebody, you're talking
Mhm.
and having that social engagement as well. But yeah, that sometimes that drive time or that like ride time, or like even for me, like we just been going out and just doing like like hikes, pushing like just like around, but it's just
Yeah.
quiet, so it's like it is, you just can really get lost in thoughts if you're just kind of rolling sometimes, and it's just you just get lost in your thought and you can be able to process some stuff. And
Sean, tell us a little bit about this meditation you've been doing.
all right, yeah, I can. That's what. If you guys want to actually see a little bit more of it, you can watch. David did actually. Was that just last week? Was it or 2 weeks? No, it was a few weeks ago
It's
now.
a couple
He
weeks
did,
ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a few weeks ago now. A couple weeks ago, he did a little like guided meditation kind of show and talked about it. But it's really just breathing, like doing kind of a deep breathing exercises, and then a few different like a positional hold where I pull my arms out, and then I do well. I call the three motions. I named them to remember. Was the first one's like a hand cycle, so I call it a hand cycle. The second one is doing the cabbage patch. You guys remember. Some of
Trunk
the younger
support.
kids might not remember the
That's
cabbage patch,
great.
but that's the second one. And then the third one is like sunshine. I call it making a little sunshine, little rainbow. You like circles, like, um, which I'm kind of, I guess, I'm not really doing them great here, but like it is like I'll breathe like breathe in, breathe out. Like it's hard to do when I'm talking because, but when I'm out doing it, I'm just literally I all I'm thinking is breathe in, and I'm thinking about the motion, breathe out, doing the motion, and like that sort of like gets your thoughts get like anything that was left in your mind just sort of starts leaving, and like all I'm focused on is my breathing, sitting upright, doing the motion, and like, and it's also like when I did the 5 minutes the first couple times, I was my arms were tired. Now I'm doing like the 7.5 minutes, and my arms are a little bit tired. Like it's simple. There's no weight. It's literally just motion, but it's you're holding and you're doing the breathing. And as a quad, especially, I'm kind of low, so I'm I'm like really start to struggle near the end. But it's I don't know, it's been good. So I feel like it's helping my breathing and even like my strength, posture, sitting and stuff. Like added benefits to the like mental aspect of it. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty much what I'm doing. Like, and I just the first day I did it, we were out on our like hike walk at the end of the day, and it was literally sun setting. It was really beautiful out, and I rolled over this little mound like I can roll onto and just face the sunset while they were walking and doing their thing. And I just was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna do it right here, right now." It's like so beautiful. I'm watching the sunset like go behind the mountains. It's like desert, like and I did it, and it was really cool, and it was really relaxing. It felt great to do. I didn't get into the habit right away. It took me a few days, and I did it again, and I did it. It took me a couple more days, did it again, And then I finally hit like a streak and have been doing 12 straight days now. But I
Nice.
just sit out, yeah, like in the evening, um, because that's kind of how I'm like wrapping my day now. Like as we wrap up, that's what I do. And then the other thing I'm doing, like that clears my head. I feel good. And then I do my vape because that's what I do anyways before I go to bed. And that just really like literally makes like I'm already relaxed. I'm in a great state. And it just relaxes me to where I'm like, all right, cool. I go brush my teeth. I can go lay down and just relax for a bit before bed. And then like my body, everything, mind, everything is relaxed. So that's been my night routine and it's been great. Like, so yeah, like it's been, I feel like it has been benefiting me. So I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated.
Very cool.
That's good,
Um,
good,
There's
good.
there's a couple people in the chat that seem to have some, well, not necessarily questions, but some situations. I don't like because they're scrolling up fast. I haven't been able to scan here, but I don't want to miss anyone
there's a
that
lot.
were.
Yeah. On that meditation, like you're doing, I was always taught to um, saying breathe in, breathe out, and to follow the breath. Follow the breath with your mind as you breathe in and follow it all the way in and then
Yeah,
breathe out.
that
Follow it.
is, I that's no, that is true. That's something that David had said, and I do try to do that. Like I try to. Angry Quad mentioned in the chat right now about diaphragm breathing. I don't know if I can really diaphragm breathe, but I do take as deep of a breath as I can, and I visualize it like into my stomach. Like I do that like in and out, um, and take the deepest breath. And the other thing that David also helped me with on that because I had tried different ones, like even on apps and stuff, where like box breathing and stuff. They were all timed, and I couldn't quite do the time like things with the breathe in and hold and breathe out. David just suggested, you just do your breathe in as deep as you can, as long as you can, hold for a moment and then breathe out. Like you just do what's comfortable for you. And that, hearing that and then trying that has really helped me as well too. Just being able to not be like, okay, I got to do it for 8 seconds. I got to hold. And like, it's too much. Like it's too much pressure stress on it. It's like, yeah. So that was one thing that really did help. And I got to shout out David on that. It's like, that actually changed. I was like, oh, I don't have to do the timed breathing. I can do my own breathing. And I have noticed that by the end of like the now 7 minutes, my breathing is longer and deeper than it was at the beginning. Like I'm breathing bigger, deeper breaths than I did at the start. Like it
Hmm,
clears, like I don't know, like it, it, I'm getting a longer breath than I did in the beginning ones. Like it just sort of builds like that.
hmm,
That's what it has for me at least. So.
that's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, the chat is going super fast. I'm trying to look at some of it.
I but blew my mind. That's what I've been, and I'm on my phone, so it's like it's way harder to try and catch
Uh,
everyone what they're saying and whatnot. And I'm scrolling the screen, and then got my little thumb in the camera. I'm gonna stop, but yeah, no, there's a lot of action going on there. A lot of people.
Yeah, and yeah, I am going hippie style somewhat. But, but yeah,
But on the gaming front too, people were talking about how they've taken comfort in gaming as well too. We're definitely looking at doing something with the group as well too. That I'm going to be hopefully heading up and whatnot. So if you guys have any kind of ideas or whatnot, and also there's going to be hopefully that forming through the Live to Roll family as well too. So if you want to reach out to me or any of have any gaming ideas or whatnot, so we can have that inner community as well when you aren't feeling all that well. That aspect of it will be there for you.
yeah.
yeah, no,
Um,
that's awesome. That's exactly what's cool about the gaming, streaming and stuff too. I feel like is it's not just to watch the gaming. You get to you can socialize. You're talking. You're hanging out. You're kind of like
Right.
you
yeah.
can have that community just even with that in the gaming. Plus, gaming together. I am not quite a gamer, but I'm trying to learn. I that's what I did. I played not online gaming, but we played Last of Us and Last of Us Two.
Oh,
Um,
it's great games.
those are
Really
great
good.
games. We played through, and those are really fun games. I'm able to do stealthy stuff. I can like I killed a clicker. I was pretty proud of that. I was like, I was able to
Right,
get good
right.
stealth kills. But the melee fighting and the melee stuff, I might as well. I'm just punching the remote. I'm like,
No, that's what's cool is because I think back to my initial days. They had a freaking, I think, a Nintendo there, even the two button system, the AB type thing, and then they had the joystick controller. So I mean, gaming, because I was injured at 16, really had a big part of my life and recovery since. So it's pretty crazy. I'm interested to see how people do like controller PlayStation console gaming, controllers with their limited hand use as being quads and whatnot. There's a lot of cool things that I want to educate myself on, and I think we can share for other people to enjoy gaming as well. The people that think, hey, I don't have finger use, I'll never be able to do it. Well, I use a standard PlayStation controller and push it different ways to get the trigger things to work and whatnot. So there's a lot of cool things that I think will help people.
Mhm.
yeah, no, that's what is cool. The adaptive gaming stuff of all the, and that's what I was just using a regular PlayStation remote when I was trying it. But I actually did get from KFK Designs. I'll shout them out too. You guys can check out. They make some other adaptive quad products and stuff, or a quad reacher, which is super cool. But he makes some quad gaming controllers, um, and they're not quite. They're like a lot of the adaptive ones that are like for Xbox and now PlayStation are super cool. You can do this like design all your big buttons and do it however you want. His are like made like they're basically just blown up. Like all the buttons are on like levers that come way up and out. The joysticks are bigger. All the back paddles have like large paddles that come up off of it. Like basically it's cool. I haven't honestly got to use it much. I really want to start using it. And once the heat hits here in the summer, I think that might be one of our day activities to stay cool, doing some
Right,
gaming
right.
in the day. But yeah, you're right. There's so many cool things to see how people are doing it, uh, and yeah, I love watching the different gaming setups or someone like you how you do it without it. I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Watch.
right.
Uh,
How are you? We talk about men's mental health, and um, you guys. How is it for you guys as far as being a man and being in relationships? You all are both in relationships. Um, I go in and out of them, but yeah, and to be able to be that masculine men in that relationship of being able, how and not be able to physically be able to do things we like most men are. Um,
Yeah,
your struggles with that. I'm curious to know. And personally speaking, I have just had to take a step back from it and let go, surrender to it in so many
yeah,
ways. Otherwise, it makes me crazy. And not
yeah.
being able to take a leadership role and being able to do things in the garage or mow the grass or and to not micromanage that in the same sense. I know early on in my relationship, I was married for how long? 26 years, and just micromanaging it early on. I it takes time to just realize that that's not the way to. That's not healthy for me or the relationship in general. But yeah,
Yeah.
I personally struggle with that here and there. At times, I'll roll out in the backyard and see all that could be done, or that I could be doing that I can't be doing, but wish I could do. Um,
And this
yeah,
is almost 30 years later. You're
well, you
still
still. Well,
asking
I've
yourself
learned,
that, and I do too. I'm with you.
yeah, I've learned. Well, it doesn't impact me as much, but it does
Right.
cause me a bit of pause of hey. And I would say that too, just pausing and take breathing, the meditation like you're mentioning, but I think even on a micro level of certain things hit us. And it's like to pause and to give a moment and some space and then move forward. That's where I find a little mental balance and just not trying to get frustrated with it, to breathe, stay in the moment of now, um, and then move on. Otherwise, fuck, I go crazy, or can, and get just it's like get defeated by it, and yeah. So yeah, what do you guys have any thoughts on any of that?
Um, yeah, I mean, I
I
know
do.
that is something that for sure I think a lot of uh, men, especially in wheelchairs, and I would say even more as quads. I mean, everybody's we're all a little bit limited on stuff like you can't really, do. You're not going to be able to even do stuff like change a light bulb even as a pair or something like.
Yeah.
But what I've found for me, I've tried just to not allow that to like I just have to like accept the fact that I'm not going to be able to physically do these things. Um,
Mhm.
and then also for me, like I'm actually fortunate. Like Leah, she's super like homemaker, like does all this stuff, like clean, like cooks incredible, loves to keep the house clean. But she also is out digging in like we're transplanting plants out here. We're like she's like full on, not like gardening, oh nice, like whatever. She's like digging shit up. Like we're like she's doing like major fixes and stuff. She's been the one having to do like most of the stuff we've done here at the house. Um, like, and I just have to like what I've found that I can do at least for like stuff like say we're building something like trying to set up this hand cycle or building one of the things like I'll try to do research. I'll look up whatever the instructions are. I'll know what the next step is and what the next like tool and screws or whatever she's gonna need is gonna be, so that I'm at least taking part. I'm there with her, supporting.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can to be of some assistance. Like I'm at least like, all right, you're gonna
Not
need those screws
micromanaging
first.
though.
Like what?
You're not micromanaging though, right? I know.
No, no,
Yeah.
that's what. No, I definitely no. Oh,
That's
she
the
would.
fine
She
line.
would.
That
Do
yeah,
that.
I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about though.
but
Absolutely
yeah,
about
no,
the
that's what I'm not.
micromanaging.
Definitely, the micromanaging is something that does not go over
The
well.
quad point, you over
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
No, there. You're
Uh,
right.
yeah, no, that's exactly. Like you do.
when you,
I've done plenty of that,
yeah.
especially younger, like trying to direct people to do things and stuff. But yeah, for with in these last few years in my relationship now, we're trying to have a really good balance of not micromanaging, but like doing what I can to help, like and not
Mhm.
getting
Attacking things together.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which there's frustration sometimes because things don't go
Oh,
well. Things like
preaching
um,
to the choir.
so like
Yeah.
that you just have to try your best to just both stay like supportive of one another and not get too frustrated, not be mean, not be rude. Just try to work what you got to work out, like figure out like, all right, what's the problem? Okay, it's not
Right.
working. Let's see what we can figure out as a solution. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Know
No,
when
me and Andrea have the same thing. Go ahead. What were you going to say, bro?
know when it's time to roll away for a moment.
Well, yeah. That's any relationship, but yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. No, me and Andrea, we've been together over 15 years now. And we have a unique situation. She was my first love when we were like teenagers, like 12, 13, and whatnot, and we were each other's first kiss and all that stuff. And then later on we went our own separate ways, and stayed in touch, being friends and really close and whatnot. And then I had my accident when I was 16, and so she knew me before my accident and after. And now she's my caregiver through IHSS. And so, she does a lot. I fortunately pushed myself to learn how to do my own bowel and bladder care and whatnot. So I do that myself to kind of keep the relationship aspect of it. She's just not my nurse, she's also my wife and whatnot. And that also comes into a problem sometimes with her wanting to do more for me and my own, like, worry about being a burden and then her resenting having to do that, and I've had experiences with that with people throughout over the 30 years and whatnot. And when it comes to someone who's, your spouse, and you're the male in the relationship, and you're, injured and whatnot, it's a lot to your manly nature, I guess, to put yourself on the back burner and wanting to take control. But like you were saying, that the little things around the house, like changing the air filter and the air conditioning, or changing a light bulb and all that, Andrea's become freaking a badass little around the house with her freaking drill gun. I bought the freaking drill gun and to try and do stuff myself, but I just don't have the dexterity or the stamina to do it. But she's gone on YouTube, and and we live in an apartment too, which is also beneficial, because there is a maintenance team that can come and bring different things and whatnot. But as far as like how I help out, is like with like ordering the groceries from Walmart and either going and picking it up and or having it delivered. She is definitely the homemaker as well, loves cooking and doing all those different fun things as well. She's actually vacuuming right now in the background. And so it's definitely um something that has taken a while to uh, get to, and there's still a daily struggle because um, there's still, it goes from everything relationship wise. Like, I would love to carry her through the doorway of our new house because we're trying to save up for all that stuff, but that's never going to happen. And you got to come to terms with accepting that. And if you're with someone that loves you for you, and they know your heart, and they know that you would love to be able to do that, that kind of it is enough, if that makes sense. But it's verbalizing that, and that's where I lack the ability to do that sometimes, because I want to, I guess, protect myself from feeling that I'm failing as a man when the other person doesn't feel that way at all. It's all just self-reflection, and I'm doing it to myself. And it's letting that aspect of it go. And like you said, brother, like backing up and taking some deep breaths and going, I'm kicking myself in the nuts. There's no one else doing it to me, and I need to, have this moment and acknowledge it, and then move on, and do something about it. So it's definitely tough in a relationship and whatnot. And it's just not the battle of having an actual relationship and trying to understand the other person. You're also trying to understand yourself while you're going through this transformation that is unnatural almost, and so it's a battle on both fronts. So I help out where I can with Dre, and do what I can to keep that. Hey, I'm still the man. I do our investing, and we still, you can still lead the house from
Sure.
being a quad, which seems sometimes really hard, but it can be done, and you can do it in a positive way.
Yeah, I have a good friend that he's been married for over 30 years, and his wife helps him with his care, um, and minimally, but I mean she helps assist him transfer and doing this and that, and there's there's so much harmony there. I mean, he was the guy I went and saw over the weekend, and it's great being around him. Just the vibe that they have is together is great, and each one of them, I think, just being able to accept the roles of where they're at, and and both being able to openly share, like you mentioned, just the feelings that may arise here and there, and to be able to listen to each other. Goes back to the topic mental health. I think it starts with our each one of our us individually, just being able to stay balanced, but then again be able to share what's going on. I'm a real believer in let's talk about it. Let's not anger off. Fuck. Let's come on. Let's sit or let's. I got a neighbor that's bitching at me for my dog shitting in his yard, and it's like, dude, and he's just, and and he's one of these avoidant type cats, and I'm like, fuck that. I went and knocked on his door. I didn't knock on his door, but I went and found him the other day, and was like, hey, come on, let's talk about it. Yeah, I got to live next to you, man. Let's talk about what's up, and let's get
Yeah,
it out and work through it together, without blame, shame, or criticism, for God's sakes. We're men. We're grown damn
yeah,
men. Let's talk about it, you know. And so we found a solution. We just really, and then all it was hell. My dog was shitting in his yard. I didn't know anything about it. Hell, my dog sneaks off shits in the yard. I didn't know. So now I know, and I'm going to manage it. But um, little things like that, and that goes in all of our relationships, and it starts with us though. If we can't take a breath and get balanced with ourselves, and then be able to communicate, um, fuck, with our caregivers, with our family, who whatever it may be, um, then I don't think we're doing ourselves any good, as far as
yeah.
that goes. Um, but yeah, so
No, you,
No,
you
that
you need to know, where you are mentally and acknowledge that before, because if you're in a bad headspace, talking to your caregiver, or doing something, unless you tell them, hey, I'm frustrated right now and I'm having some issues, so however I come across or whatnot, it's not you. I mean, those are the things you that I've learned um to do, and it's been a benefit in relationships over the years, because I used to be the throw shit around, I'd bite the hell out of my leg because it had a spasm, I'd kick myself in the face, and it's just like, what the fuck just happened? And you get so frustrated, and I used to beat the shit out of my legs early on, just like freaking going. So I was so frustrated, and I'd have these fucking bruises, and it was just like, and people, that's not the time people are going to open up and really want to help you or talk to you as well. So you have to let people know as well too, where you are mentally, before you can help or
got to
eh,
communicate. Yeah, and
communicate
communicate
exactly.
with ourselves first. Be able to be
Hmm.
self-aware. Where am I? And know when to surrender to it. I mean, fuck, I get in that bed sometimes, and someone helping me get dressed, and it's like, just want to get up. I don't want, enough already. But
Yeah,
just to lay there and to take a moment and just realize that, hey, time is of the essence. What else? Be patient and work through it just with me and in my meditation of breath, and um, yeah, being self-aware with that, is a big thing. I was gonna tell you, Mike, that's that coon ass in you too, man. I got I'm,
mm,
I got three quarters in me, so I mean,
right,
yeah,
right.
that doesn't help us, yeah.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
yeah,
Yeah, no
so
doubt, no doubt. I'll tell you one thing that definitely was an eye opener, slap in the face, was NASCAR's Kurt Busch dying.
oh
And
yeah,
like, you
that
talk
was
about like
wild.
thinking, a professional athlete, super healthy, having everything going well. From what I heard, it was just a bad case of pneumonia. I know he had an injury early on in the season where he had a big gash on his leg too, and I heard he got septic, and that's why he ended up passing. But talk about how we're just not in control. Even people that have full use of their bodies, bro. It's like
no
we
one's in
just,
control.
yeah, exactly. It was
And
just freaking
you bring up a
something
good
I
point.
needed.
keeping things in perspective. Pardon me for stepping on you, but yeah,
No, no,
keeping
no.
things in perspective. No matter what, the fucking sun is going to set tonight, and it's going to come up tomorrow with or without us. And
Yeah,
just keeping things in perspective for me, it helps me stay balanced.
yeah.
Or at least it leans me towards it, if you will, at times. Um,
Right, right.
just keeping perspective of it, and every day's a privilege. I mean, hell, we
Yeah.
could have been dead whenever you know fell off the damn mountain, when all of it, when I could have drowned in the damn lake. I mean,
Hmm.
look what we're doing. I mean, every day is fucking a miracle and a privilege. We're here, and
Yeah,
yeah, to be mindful of keep perspective is a big thing too for me, and
right.
mental
Yeah, no,
health
that is
wise.
great. And I was going to say, and like you said before, I was just going to say the exact same thing, is just being self-aware. Like if you know you're maybe going through something and you're not in a really great state of mind,
Mhm.
or if you do happen to like be in that state of mind, not maybe recognize it and snap and kind of yell, do something, say something rude, mean, maybe recognizing that and being able to kind of acknowledge and take ownership and apologize for, maybe doing something that you wouldn't have done, you wouldn't have wanted to do. You just maybe were in a bad headspace. Like in the chat, um, but I've been a bad head from Tonta. But yeah, that's like if you're in a bad head, you're in a bad mental space. Sometimes it's good to be able to acknowledge that. And
But have that moment. I mean, let yourself freaking, don't beat the shit out of your legs, but freaking acknowledge, like I'm in a bad spot. Have that moment if you need to tear up and cry, cry, but then freaking few minutes later, go, all right, bitch, toughen up. We got some shit to do if we're going to want to move in the right direction and not sit here and have a pity party.
Hmm.
Who's going to
Yeah.
want to be around me being in the pity party aspect type of mind frame either, too? It's a catch 22. I don't
And
want to
be
be here.
and be gentle with yourself in that self-talk. We
Yeah.
all have it. Be gentle with yourself in that self-talk. Hey, fuck, just I same thing. Like you mentioned, the other day I was out driving on a road trip. I've been taking these road trips. I went south a couple weeks ago, and then I went east last weekend just to get out on the road and drive 3 hours too. And was at a rest area, and my you can feel, as we drive for a little while, our tone starts picking up a little bit, and I was
Hmm.
alone. I wasn't with anyone, and tone starts picking up, and I pulled into a rest area and sat there for a minute. And a hack for anyone that drives or get tight tone driving, I'll take two ibuprofen. It helps with that, with my spasms a little bit. But we get those real deep spasms sometimes that'll build up in our hands, especially after we're set
Oh,
going south
yeah.
a little bit. Yeah,
Stomach
that
and
helps.
core, they'll just throw you back in the seat. And you're just like,
Yeah, you hold
oh,
on. You be right here, fucking feeling it going back and
yeah,
forth.
yeah.
Yeah, but I take a couple of ibuprofen, and it helps calm that a little bit. But I was at the rest area, and same thing. I just self-talk, like, hey, come on now, you got this, you're fine, nothing's, you're fine. Not get anxious, because I can get anxious. Just think,
Right.
because if we step back from it all, the reality is, if we step back from it all, of us got we're doing this. You know what I mean? This is real. And
Yeah.
I mean, we do well at it. We make it look easy, but it is what it is ultimately. If you step back
Yeah.
from it, it's like we're champions. We do really good. Um, but so I just was like, hey, come on, get back, like you say, get back on the horse and let's go. And that's just
Right.
it. It's get out of your head and go. So yeah.
that's something that I
Yeah.
know I've done a lot over the 22 years of my injury, is that self-talk motivation. Like when I'm feeling like I just am struggling to get through something, struggling, like just don't have the energy, don't have like whatever it is, the strength, and I just I've done that plenty of times where you try, you can do this. Like, you just tell
Got it.
yourself positive, like you got this, I got this, you got this. Like, just
Yeah.
you know,
Gonna be all right.
yeah, you know, like you're gonna get through it, and just trying to trying to talk yourself through it,
Yeah,
convince yourself you're gonna make it, and it works. So at least it has for me in the past. But
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. It's good stuff.
yeah, no,
Totally.
it is good stuff. This has been definitely a good conversation, and one of the ones that can go for ever. I feel like.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. You know, I was thinking of, what is it? You know, oh yeah, it was, I wake up some days and I go, fuck, I really hate being a quadriplegic. But then I have interactions with people that only happened because I'm a quadriplegic that never would have happened in the past. And it's because I'm in a wheelchair that gave that opening to have that conversation with someone I never would have had in the past. And over the 30 years, in 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 a sick way, I wouldn't trade those encounters for the ability to walk and the lessons I've learned. And as wicked and weird as that sounds, the life lessons I've learned because I was 16 and how ignorant I was at that point, I am thankful I learned what I've learned since, and the experiences I've had, as tough as they've been, you know. So it's perspective that, you know, it's still, do I have bad days? Yes, absolutely, that I don't like my situation, but it's how you, the old saying, you know, when you get knocked down, it's how you dust yourself up and get back up. And there's people that are in the same situation. You're not alone. We're all here for you. My contact information I've given to Sean, and it's available to anyone in the chat, you know. So no, you're not alone, and there are people here for you.
Yeah, we're survivors, and I believe these
Yeah.
interactions that we do have, it's because we wear our vulnerabilities right here. You can't not see them. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're wearing them. We're wearing them openly, and we're survivors. And so I meet a lot of survivors that are ambulatory, just people in general, and have these meaningful interactions, just like we're having right now, of
Right.
about life and mental balance of like shit. We're survivors and we do it every day, and we have to pick our head up and sometimes dust ourselves off with mental clarity and move on. And we're better for it. Every day I feel like we're better for it
Yeah.
in one manner or a damn another. And yeah, it's good to be alive. I mean, fuck. Sometimes more than others, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
no, yeah, that's what you got to be grateful for your life and to be alive, to be here. Because yeah, like for a lot of those reasons, you know, you the experiences and things, but like a lot of us to get a spinal cord injury or a lot of disabilities, even just in general, or just people come inches from dying every single day. You know, all of us, like you just mentioned, the Bush brother, like that's just that was crazy too. So yeah, somebody who's 41 years old, he's younger than me. So
Right.
he's like, you know, which is wild. It happens to anybody all the time. And if you've gone through something, if like say someone like us, you have survived something that you very well could have and should have maybe died from, you know, in that moment, your body, you survived. You are a survivor, like Chad said. Like we are survivors. Like
Yeah.
be grateful for the time that we have. You know, you do never know if it's the last day. I mean, really,
Definitely
because
humbles us. It's humbling in many ways. And when
yeah,
you got to get, yeah, when you fall down, you have to get back up. It's another humbling moment of, hey, whether we redirect at that time or whatever it may be, but there's constantly movement and motion. in one
Right.
direction or another. It's ever moving. Everything cycles, and be patient with it. And I use that word a lot. And then I'm self talking to what works for me is just that's it. You know, but getting through these hurdles, it checks us off and it humbles us a little bit more as we're moving through. We have setbacks, yeah, but again, take a breath. It's not the end of the world, and we're going to get through this and be better for it on the other side. Hopefully, if it doesn't kill you, and if it does, then hey, you'll be forgotten in 2 generations, and that'll be that. You
Yeah,
came, you went, and that's was your time. But yeah,
it's true.
Oh
so
yeah.
Very true. These are just vessels that we're in. That's for sure. We're just temporary. It definitely, like the thing with Kirk Bush just made me realize how minute our time is here. And then I always think about, I see cemeteries, and I think, ones from the 1800s or early 1900s, and just how you don't see people going there to their graves anymore because eventually things move on. We're part of a bigger group community together than we are individuals. And if we can help each other in society, and those lessons are passed down, not just to my family members but society as a whole, and if that makes other people better, then that's what it's about in my mind.
yeah, winning. We're winning
Yeah.
most of the time. Oh, Sean, we have sponsors to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna do that right now too. Real quick, I'm just gonna. There was a ton. The chat was going so fast. There was a few questions that I did highlight and saved, and we didn't really get a chance to get to right now. But I am. We actually are doing another mental health awareness show on Thursday. We were supposed to have our friend Zach Colley, who he's actually a quadriplegic, who just a few years ago now, I think 2 or 3 years ago now, graduated from school and became a licensed therapist. He went to college, did
Oh,
all this stuff,
nice.
like a just locally here in Orange County too, in Southern California. So he was going to come on and talk some mental health stuff, being that he is actually like a health professional and a quadriplegic. So um,
That's in 2 days.
that's in 2 days on Thursday.
Sweet.
So
Okay.
check out that on Thursday. I'm gonna save you guys' questions that I have in the chat. I'm gonna try to make sure I can find and highlight any others to add them to questions for Zach, and so you guys can hop on Thursday if you want to get some more mental health discussion because it is obviously very important and something that we all deal with every single day in our lives. So.
Yeah.
And then, so real quick, just wanted to get that out there. But shout out to our sponsors. Thank you to sponsors Mobility Professionals and Urology Professionals. Mobility Professionals is local to Southern California, but if you need any large medical equipment like a wheelchair, standing frame, commode, anything like that, and you're in the Southern California area, give them a call. They'll help you take care of everything with getting measured up, getting everything taken care of with your doctor, insurance, and everything like that, if they can take your insurance. And then Urology Professionals is their sister company, and they're actually nationwide. So anywhere in the country, if you need urological supplies, you need your catheters, they will ship them directly to your doorstep. And again, give them a call. They'll take care of everything with your doctor, your insurance, and get everything set up so it's easy peasy on you. And they're a great company. They do support the local community. They support us, Live to Roll, and honestly, just good people that do help out, and we appreciate their support.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, like I said, Thursday we'll have another mental health discussion show. So please come back for that. We'll have Zach on to answer some extra questions. But yeah, it'll be a great discussion again as well. So we appreciate you guys. And also one more shout out, not here on the Live to Roll channel, but tomorrow on Wednesday on the Kicking It with Rob and Tara channel. They do a live stream, same time, 3:30 to 4:30. They call it East Coast Rollers. They got Angry Quad on
Ooh.
there, and Cordy that's
Oh
up in
yeah.
the chat as well. So great little stream as well, or not little stream, but yeah, another just great stream to check out. Tune in 3:30, same time tomorrow, and then come back to Live to Roll Thursday for some more mental health discussion. All right, guys. Mike, Chad, thank you
Sweet.
guys for hanging out with us and sharing and being open to discuss your own mental health. And I
A
think
great chat. Great talking with you, Chad. Great talking with you as well, man.
and yeah,
Nice
so
meeting
thank you guys and thank you everybody in the chat too for your comments and input as well. We do appreciate you guys. And in the chat, it's same time, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. So wherever you are, East Coast, that'd be 6:30 starting for the East Coast rollers if you're on the East Coast, or for any of us. But all right, you guys, thanks again for watching and live to roll. See you next time.
and live to roll.